Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Johnita Stanton. We have Reginald Perryman, Shaka Williams. We are TSARE, and this is the There's Something About Real Estate podcast where we talk all things real estate.
Everything real estate.
All things, all of the things.
All of the above.
Mm-hmm. You said a word on the last episode. It was like adult, but you didn't quite say it again.
They need to be an adult or
No,
adulting.
you didn't use that. You didn't enunciate it that way.
What'd I say?
I don't even know how to say it no more. You said adult.
Yeah.
Adult.
I'm only messing with you because he always giving me a hard time about how I enunciate my words.
Oh, okay. That was my British accent.
Yeah.
Right.
I was trying to be Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Adulting.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Adulting.
So, no, I want to talk about good deals for homeowners, right, in this market. And it came up because I guess I was challenged about a house and whether or not it was a good deal. And so I want to talk about it. And then it's a house that I didn't even tell you about yet. You still got to go see it. But in my mind, it's a good deal because I'm looking at there's certain things that I'm looking at that make me believe it's a good deal for a homeowner. Yeah.
What's a good deal for a home? Like, explain that to me. Like, what, in your opinion, what would make a good deal for a homeowner? I'm your buyer. Okay,
so that's the first thing. How do you classify a good deal?
Okay, I'm your buyer. Explain to me like a 5-year-old.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. I can't explain to you like 5-year-old because I think it's too difficult. But the first thing for me probably is going to be like location.
All right.
So like, where is the house?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing is going to be, well, how much are we paying for this house in that location? Are we paying full retail value? And we're basing this off of current data because we know this changes, and then it can be subjective as to equity and all that kind of thing. But I'm talking about based on current data and what you can find when you're vetting that property. So there's and then what amenities? So amenities in terms of like square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, plus amenities on like a finish level, right?
All right.
So like how did they finish it? Is it an old house, a new house, turnkey, need some work? The quality of work, right? And those are the things I think that I'm kind of basing off whether or not there was if a purchase was a good deal or not.
Good deal to me would be if you're buying in whatever area you want and you're buying it under the market value. That's the only way it's a good deal to me. I don't care.
Well, what if it's under market value, but it need a bunch of repairs? So are you saying
it's still
under market value minus the repairs? So if I'm buying a $200,000 home, but I'm getting it for $180,000, if it need 20,000 repairs, it's not a deal.
No, so I'm saying if you're
buying it for $160,000 and need 20,000 repairs, but it's worth $200,000, then that's a good deal.
Nope. So I'm saying if you buy if the excellent house in that area,
right,
that's fully remodeled, sells for $300,000, and you're able to get it for under $300,000, you got a good deal, right?
Right.
But if you got a house where the max ARV is $300,000, but it needs $60,000 in work, you would need to be buying it under $240,000 for it to be a good deal,
right,
as a homeowner.
That's what I was just saying in my scenario.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like you were saying
you just like saying no.
No, it seemed like you were saying
he the person that walked in the store going to buy some Jordans. They be like, "Can I help you?" And he'd be like, "Nope." I'm just looking.
I am. Look,
and then he go right to the shoes.
I come grab you when I need your help. But so yes, you have to be buying. So when you said under market, right, and you use the situation where the home needed work. So that means that the market value would be already minus the repairs.
Right.
So I have to get it underneath that.
Right.
All right. So that's what makes it a good deal to me.
So your idea of a good deal is just the price.
Correct.
Based on the market value in the area.
He said in the area they want to be in.
Yeah, but I'm saying the price that they're paying as compared to the average home price in the area.
Right.
So if it's below that price, and you're getting it below that price, factoring in condition and everything, You're saying a good deal is price, location, amenities, quality of work, and a number of other things.
As compared, yeah.
Right.
So like the house, so he went into this house and
But
was
what
like,
if it got a big backyard?
That matters.
Yeah, if it's
I mean,
double
but I
lock,
think that
right.
I
But
think
this
that
is
matters.
type of stuff buyers when they come and they say, I want a good deal, but then they start saying stuff like, well, what if it got a big backyard? But you're getting this house for $40,000 under market value. How important is the backyard?
Right.
So the reason I'm asking this is because our listeners, if you're buying, you got to understand what a good deal is to you.
For sure.
So
well, you didn't tell us what yours was.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What's yours?
I agree with both of y'all. I want the best price I can get.
Reg out here.
I can get in the area that I want, but I need it to fit my personal lifestyle, my family needs, and everything.
So
quality of work, quality of work matter, but that falls under condition, right? And a good deal, I want it at or below market value. I don't want to pay above market value. Then it's a terrible deal to start with. I'll pay market value if it has everything else I need, because that's a good deal to me because it meets my needs. So as a buyer, you need to think a little bit deeper. So let's say, for example, you're trying to move into this certain school district and the homes are $300,000 average, but you have an option to move into another school district, but you don't want your kids to go there because the quality of school is not as great. And it's going to cost you to send your kids to this other school, maybe $10,000 a year, right? So to me, this particular house that's going to save me $10,000 a year, I'm willing to pay market value because I'm saving $10,000 a year, and that's not related to the house itself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's a scenario that I would agree with.
Buyers need to look at a good deal at more than just the house itself, but that goes back to what you said about location. So it's all of that combined is what I'm saying.
Hold on, you said something. So do you feel like the buyers that purchased their home above asking price over the last few years bought bad deals?
No, it depends on why they paid above asking.
Okay.
Like the scenario I gave, that's why I brought that scenario up.
So you said
because I asked a buyer, like, why are you paying $20,000 above asking price? And he told me exactly. He said, man, if I move anywhere else, it's going to cost me about $15,000 a year for the next 4 to 6 years to send my kids to school. And that's the minimum because tuition is going up. So I'd rather pay the $20,000 now and get my kids into this school system where I don't have to pay that extra cost.
I would agree. That's why I moved to where I am now for that
Exactly.
reason right there. But so so then that would mean that I'm changing my answer then. So it wouldn't just be price.
Right.
So I guess a good deal is difficult to break down. Really.
But it's got to be obviously. So if I'm working with a client, I have to be able to understand that client's needs when I'm suggesting things. This particular house that I'm thinking about right now, these clients wanted to be in a certain area because their kids were in school in a certain area, and they were getting ready to settle on a house that was more of like a shack in comparison to what they bought.
Right.
No basement, maybe 2 bedrooms with the extra bedroom being off in the weird area of the house. So a space that's not traditionally, it could be like a family room or extra room or office or something like that kind of thing. And then understanding they're in a growth phase and they need the ability to go in and just start putting on like a new roof and installing a new kitchen and all these different things. They're not going to be able to do that. So they was going to buy the house, their first house for like location.
Right.
But when they saw the second house, it was like, oh no, this one is turnkey and ready to move in. And, all these things on it is new. And so one of the things that I was looking at is if they're going to buy in this particular area. Now, this is also an even better look because if you're going to buy in Detroit, right? You have areas that historically have done well.
Right.
And, they're more desirable. You have resale factors. There are different reasons why I think, there's certain areas you should buy in.
Right.
and they so happen to lock down one of the legal descriptions that are, highly desired for the city. And when I'm looking at the stuff that sold, so I had to like answer the question. And so like, for me right now, I'm still like, yeah, I think it was, because when I'm looking at two comparable homes that sold, one sold in February for less, and they gave concessions on that particular house too. But the things that still are needed on this house, like probably a similar level of work. I guess that's arguable, right? But similar level of
Was
work.
work done?
Yeah, so when I say similar, like this is a Formica countertop, and who knows what that backsplash looks like in
I'd
person.
rather take that Formica over what I saw.
Okay. But we don't know. So going in this house, so
Right.
like so on those pictures too, it looked a lot better.
Right.
We could walk into this house and experience the same thing potentially, or it could just be nice, whatever.
So
So some of the other things that I want to point out about this one is like it has no new, so like cement in the city is like a big thing.
Right.
A lot of these houses, they're old, and when you go walk up to the house, you're like, man, I got to replace this whole driveway. And that's one of the things that I liked about the purchase that they made. Like they had new cement for their walkway, the length of their driveway, all the way back through the back of their house. It was a lot of new cement. Plus they still had like a yard. That's a lot of that's a high ticket item.
Yeah.
Right. And they didn't necessarily have new windows, but they had vinyl windows. And then their central air unit, their furnace, their water tank were all brand new appliances. I believe they're 2024. So when I'm looking at this house that sold for a little less, this house still has a long way to go to get to where that house was. So like if you look at the cement on this house,
Right.
let me see.
like
So if they would have got the cheaper house, they wouldn't have got all the additional updates and everything.
right, and the house that's right after that one sold for a lot more, like $25,000 more, and I have to see if they gave concessions to see if it's a similar.
So there's a gap between the house under it that wasn't in as good a shape, but it was cheaper, or the house above it, but it was 25,000 more, and it probably was in a little bit better condition.
Maybe. So we need to look at it and see if that house, like, does it have new cement?
Right.
Does it have new mechanicals?
Right.
It seems like the house that sold for the 25,000 more was same thing, similar actually lesser condition because outdated.
Right.
It was a house that someone lived in for some time.
Right.
They had like all the original stuff.
But it was maintained well.
Maybe pretty okay maintained. Okay. And then when you start talking about ARV, so now, because this house technically is supposed to be turnkey, like all new stuff in it, but it was just bad workmanship.
So the work was done. So basically what you're explaining to the listeners is they brought a good house with updates, but the finishes and the quality of the workmanship wasn't that great. So
some of the worst I've ever seen.
So damn.
Literally.
So basically, like they had a new countertop and backsplash. So the materials was good, terrible. But it was installed terribly.
Right.
So that goes back to what's important to you as a buyer, because, okay, I got the materials here. It was installed terribly. The workmanship was terrible, but I got a granite countertop or whatever. Or I could have paid $25,000 more and had a better quality, better quality.
So like, look at this one. So this other house, this is what I'm saying. So like this one is more outdated, right? Like it doesn't need concrete per se, but it ain't new.
Let me ask you this: when you say the quality of workmanship was terrible, is the house livable? Like, is it something they can be like, okay, we can live with this because we didn't pay the extra $25,000 for a home. We just need to get in and we can work on improving this stuff later.
Yeah, but
will it cost them $25,000?
Yeah, it's gonna make it, because everything they did. It's just like when you're an investor and you go buy somebody's house and they did shitty work and they be like, man, I put 40, however much money they want to say they put in there. Well, I wish you wouldn't put none of it in there, right? Because
I
I
hate
got to
when they
tear
say
all
that.
this
Man,
shit out.
I put 80,000 in this house. You spent 80,000 on crap.
Yeah.
But if you go in here, do the numbers on the high. So the high sale, and this is the exact house.
Right.
This is the exact house. Like,
let me see it.
Hold on 1 second.
So the reason we're not showing this to the viewers is because this is an actual client. I don't want people like, why don't they show the house? Because people always say that. This is an actual client and it's pending. But
no, so it's closed today.
Oh, you just closed
but
today. All right, even better.
I still wouldn't want, their personal stuff. But the high sale is at $240.
Right. And what they buy for?
$189.
Oh, well.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, if they shoot that. So
well, hold on. I want to talk about that.
So let me. So here's the question.
So is this not the exact house?
That house is way better.
No, this is the exact house.
But that house has.
Hold on.
This is the so for the appraisal, this is a comp. So if they went in there and improved the house, this is the same look, style,
they're gonna spend that $50,000 to get it. So this is the first thing I went in there and I said,
"Wait, we talking about a good deal for the buyer. How did your buyers feel about the property and are they
in love and they're very
all right? Then end the story.
Yes,
what's a good deal to us don't matter because sometimes as professionals we're trying to coach people through the process, right? But sometimes we can be overbearing and saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't." No, it's what the client wants.
100%.
So if you tell me, it's just like buying a fixer upper, right? It's just this one is fixed up, but it's not upper. So it's like they went in and did the work, but it was crappy work. But I'm gonna save 50, 60,000 by buying it, and I can live with it. Now it ain't like I'm buying a fixer upper that don't have toilets and kitchens and bathrooms, right? I can go in here and live with it. Okay, the countertop and backsplash not done right. I don't like the colors. I'm gonna tear it out in the next year or two anyway, right? So I'm gonna spend that 50 or 60,000 over time as needed versus going out and spending that 50 or 60 now. In addition to that, I got a lower mortgage payment. I got lower costs, upfront costs, closing costs.
11,000 in concession, right? Or
and they got what in concessions?
11,000
in concessions. I'm winning.
See, and that's how they felt.
That's how she felt too.
And that's how I still feel. Looking at this house, when I'm looking at this house is very comparable, and I'm very satisfied.
The other question is, could these buyers even afford that other house? They couldn't
afford that
without the concessions. Do you know if they would have got concessions? So this go back to location. So if you tell me I can move into Palmer Woods to a house for $400,000. Several thousand square feet, and somebody did some work and it was a little shabby, or I can pay $700,000 for a similar home, I'm probably gonna go with the $400,000.
You are, but not a homeowner.
You know what's been? I'm sorry.
I would be the homeowner.
I need a sidebar.
You're an investor, so.
But it depends on why I'm moving into that.
And I don't even know that you would do that either.
Sidebar.
$300,000 rehab is big. Go ahead.
Sidebar is we back to 2010, 11, and 12 on these highest and best offers.
Right.
Because when I'm looking at the closed sale from a multiple offer listing and I'm seeing what happened, it's not that it's not less, but it's the same way I would present an offer for my client that needed concessions back then, which would be not with an appraisal guarantee, still with the concessions and maybe going a little above the ags to get what I need.
To get them both,
and so this house that has the nicer finishes, they had it listed at $234 and it ended up selling at $240 with $8,000 back in the FHA sale. The reason why I'm highlighting that is because we need to, for the agents that's helping their buyers that feel like they can't get those concessions and the FHA offer accepted because they got multiple offers.
So now you in that, you can.
Yeah.
So the deal was even better because they got concessions. Could they have brought that other home with the same scenario with concessions and came to the table with only $4,000? So if the clients feel it was a good deal, it's a good deal. It may not be a good deal to one of us or a number of other people, but it was a good deal to them.
Oh,
No,
that's
that wasn't
Miranda. That's what's
that
up,
wasn't the so what happened is, let me tell y'all, so she said she was challenged. She wasn't challenged.
Right.
What happened is I went to go look at the house. What was that? I forgot whatever what she had
I
me go look at the house.
I needed him to go do a walkthrough.
So I went and looked at the house though, and I came in there, I'm like, shit, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean?
Right.
I was, I'm just walking around the house looking at everything, and I'm like,
Right.
damn, somebody bought this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy, right?
Them ain't Rolex
So,
diamonds.
but I understand that. I get it. I
Right.
mean, like you said, it's I can't tell somebody what's nice to them or what, but maybe I don't know. I just was thrown back by it, and I just asked the question. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
"Is this a
was a
good deal?"
challenge.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm just like, "Was this a good deal?" No, I
It was a challenge question.
It wasn't a challenge. I just was asking.
He be talking about me all the time. I sit on words.
But it
Right.
wasn't challenging you. I was just asking. We started. We never really invested in North Rosedale. We were in
South
Rosedale,
Rosedale.
yeah. So so I'm not super familiar with the area,
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the house though, and I'm just like, this.
You was basing it on the quality of workmanship. She was basing it on the location, the price they got it for, as compared to everything
and her
else.
client situation.
Yeah, and her clients was like, you can get here for this, and over the years you can make small improvements and have a ton of equity in this house as if the market continues the way it's going, because you're walking in with equity, right? Because
I don't know about that.
the next buyer,
I don't get that. That's the thing I don't be getting. Like, the data be right here.
What did it appraise for?
Right.
It had to appraise for $240 because it sold for $240.
But your buyer, y'all
No,
know what it
he's talking
appraised
about the house your client bought.
That's not even a fair question.
Why?
So,
That's a factual statement.
Here's the thing. There's potential equity there, and if they can make them improvements before they sell it, they'll have some.
Reggie, if you walked in this house and you looked at this one, you would be like, I think you would totally be like, oh yeah, no.
I just can't. If you look at the house that sold for $240,
compared to
it is night and day. They're not. Yes, they're the same house, but they're not the same house. Like, one is a high quality home and one is a home. You get what I mean? Like,
right.
So yeah.
But if they just wanted a home and they could save,
I get it,
60, 70,000.
If I show my clients this house, they're gonna be like, "Thank you."
But listen,
again, they're gonna give me my like 10.
But just do that then. So just say, for my client situation, they got the best deal that they can get. Stop comparing it to other homes that are not comparable to it. Just because it's in the same area,
it's the same area.
It's in the same house, same house.
It's got the same
firewood. But that was the topic.
We're gonna pull these houses up.
So
we
got
to pull this house up.
Here's the thing: a deal is whatever the client feels it is, right? Our professional eyes as investors and homeowners, we may consider a deal something else.
And realtors.
Yeah,
so
but
I was just asking. So I asked the question as hey, I'm not in. Janita's
right.
Selling real estate.
Right.
I just asked, like, because to me, I was thrown back. I was like, damn. I really was thrown back.
So
I'm like,
let me ask you this: that same deal in an area that you're familiar with, right? Let's say in Bagley, those same two houses. Would you feel this client had gotten a deal based on their situation?
We just bought 3 houses that's in a similar.
No, I'm saying if this buyer, them exact 2 houses were in Bagley, and the client got that house for that much cheaper.
Yeah, what I'm saying 50, is we those clients. Santa Barbara is literally.
But see, it's yes.
No, I'm saying take these 2 houses.
No, I hear you.
Put them in Bagley, the same prices, and put them buyers. Well, do you think that buyer got a good deal in Bagley with $60,000 less?
No,
you don't.
So here, and I'm explaining to you why.
Right.
So for the $60,000 more, they're going to be at the top end of the ARV. Right. So we just did the same thing, which she's explaining. We really just bought. I couldn't believe. Now these are houses where I couldn't believe that homeowners didn't buy. Like, so these houses in Bagley are what she's saying. These are homes that you could go in and live we didn't have to rehab them. You know what I mean? We didn't have to do that.
Right.
We didn't even go crazy on the rehab on some of them. You know what I mean? Actually, only on one of them we went crazy on the rehab. The rest of them, we kept the kitchen.
So
we kept
let me
but hold on. Let me finish. Say this. So we bought it. And when we put that additional money in, it's gonna be other money on top of that.
Right.
You get what I'm
saying?
I know that. So
it's always other money on
but
top.
I'm saying, but for the homeowner here, so you're asking me if I feel like they got a deal using that scenario, then the answer would be no, because they're going to be at.
So let me
the ARV.
Let me ask you
numbers. Let me show you something.
But what's wrong with being at the ARV?
But look,
we said a good deal was underneath. Underneath. That's a good
my opinion was at or below ARV.
Our numbers as an investor is okay. If we look at a house and we feel like the ARV is 240,
right?
We feel that's what we've agreed. We feel like it's 240, and then we do our math. We can come in here and we can spend $156,000.
Right.
So for a homeowner that basically paid $15,000 or so
more than 20 some thousand more and got concessions.
No, I minus the concessions when I said the 15,000.
So what I'm saying is they got it for a little bit more of what you would have paid for it as an investor.
No.
Yeah,
a lot more. So
y'all would have paid on a 240 house. The max y'all would be all in for is 250. I mean
156.
156.
That's with the rehab.
They paid 183.
Hold on, that's rehab.
184.
So
hold on, you talking about rehab? That's 156 is rehab.
So we got
almost $84,000 in equity in there after we did the rehab. They don't have any.
So technically they paid 178.
So they paid 178
minus 156.
22,000 more than what y'all would have paid, but not completely rehab.
Yeah, but ours is with the rehab.
Right, but enough of it.
But we gonna go in and probably do new mechanicals. They need no new mechanical. They might need somebody to come in there and check.
There's a rehab, like the workmanship not there with like the finishes, but they got the HVAC, they got the concrete, the roof.
Yeah,
the roof,
right, and nothing that they did in there. So here's another thing that I have.
All right, let me ask you this: do you think in 5 years they'll regret buying that home?
I don't know. Maybe they won't.
That's what I'm saying. But it's a good deal.
This is where y'all messing up at. Yeah. So this is what y'all doing. Y'all are trying to compare. So hear what you're saying. You're saying the 156. If we 156 in the house, that's purchase and rehab.
Right.
That means now that we're less than what they purchased the property for, and it's fully rehabbed.
Right.
So now the difference between where we're at right now and the ARV being what? What'd you say the ARV?
Yeah, it's almost 90,000. Right.
I got $90,000 in money.
Right.
What?
But
y'all
they
trying to compare
more,
that to they don't have $90,000 in money. They have no money. All their money is whatever they go spend is they have no money. They have no equity.
But what she's saying is it's not rehab to y'all standards, but it was rehab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But what did it come in to praise that? I want to know what they're praising.
Here's the thing. Here's the most important.
Did it come in to praise that value? Or
you
more?
know it came in at value.
Did it come in more than value? Or
it came in at value. Because that's what most houses do.
It had to
most
come
of the time they come in at value.
No, they don't have to come in
they
at
don't,
value.
But I said most of the time that's what appraisers do.
Well, this one had to come in at value because they closed.
No, you're missing the point. It could come in above value.
Right, I know that. Decides to go in there.
So appraiser go in there and say, damn, this is a really nice house. This is a really good buy. Right. You buying it for under, I had a situation, in the condo, where they bought it low, and the appraiser actually thought it was a problem. He's like, hold on. He asked questions about it.
How often is that?
But that's my point. That's how I know it's a good deal.
Let me ask you this. I just think if the buyer feels it's a good deal, it's a good deal. If they brought something they won't regret.
Yeah.
It's just like, you might go to know how you go to outlet malls and they have like stuff and it looked good, and then you feel the quality be a little cheesy, and the collar's like kind of me too, right? That's why I brought it up.
To the guest store out there.
But you can find some deals in there, but are they deals to you? Like if you got to buy a suit and you got it, and let's say it's a $600 suit and you get it for $300, but then you still got to go get it tailored and altered and all of this. Is it really a good deal? Or you go and buy like a shirt and you be like, oh, this is a nice polo or whatever. But like one sleeve is a little off or something.
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's what this is like. That's
right.
So
I
like
get what you're saying 100%. But to them, they might be in
They're like,
shape and
I got a
slim,
good deal,
and
yeah.
you don't even notice it on them. But somebody with me look at gut, every little imperfection gonna show on that shirt. So
But
to me,
that's a
it's
great
not a
point.
good
Like,
deal.
yeah, it's like when I buy my kids they pants and I go to like they still be, you know, fresh to death.
Yeah, you don't know. So it's up to the consumer what they consider a good deal. It's not up to us. But in this situation, I think they got a good deal for them considering that they couldn't even have brought, like, even if they seen another home for $190, if they wasn't getting the concessions and all the other stuff, they probably couldn't afford it anyway. So it was a good deal that they even got into that area. And to be honest, I don't see too many comparable areas for that price they could have gotten to in the city. Like, there are none.
Yeah,
they not getting into Bagley for $180.
So they could have.
How many bedrooms and what was the
they could have bought. They could have bought.
So they could have.
We was under 180 in everything that we bought in Bagley.
My flip wasn't 180.
We just bought three
investors flip.
We just bought 3 flips in Bagley, and then what's the one we bought? And they were all on market. We just bought 3 on market.
Y'all
flips
brought
in
them
Bagley.
cash, or so these were on market. So your clients could have went and brought one of them other properties, got concessions.
No, they didn't need concessions then. They wouldn't have needed them.
They would have still needed concessions.
Okay, but yes,
they would have still needed.
Well, they could have got it because they could have done what Johnita just said. They could have increased the offer and asked for the concessions. But yes, they could have got the same.
Did they want to be in Bagley though?
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
We're changing all the scenarios. Which I asked this question. You asked in the city.
So in other words, they could have got a house for about 160, 170. In Bagley, increased the price to 180, similar condition, and then got their concessions paid and been in a better scenario.
But there are people, North Rosedale Park is not necessarily like, you know, some of them people was turning their nose up at Bagley. They don't want to go to Livernois and 6 Mile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, no, they got a good deal. Congratulations, you guys. Awesome buy. I stand behind it 100%. And I'm about to send you some comps so that when you get ready to go do whatever it is you need to do, you can use these because there's current equity.
All right. If I need to say so. You can't be broke and bougie. You got to get what you can get. And you gotta get what you can afford, and you gotta start somewhere and get the deal that matters to you and not Shaka.
Because I got fired for that before.